The rain hammered the windshield like fists of regret, turning the endless stretch of Interstate 80 into a blurred nightmare. I gripped the steering wheel of my dad's old Ford pickup, heart pounding as the engine sputtered its last defiant cough, leaving us dead in the water somewhere between Omaha and the Wyoming border. In that split second of silence, as thunder cracked the sky open, I realized this breakdown wasn't just about the truck, it was the universe forcing me to face the man in the passenger seat. The one who'd known my secrets before I even whispered them to myself. Mark shifted beside me, his broad frame filling the cab with the quiet strength of someone who'd weathered storms far worse than this. He was my dad's oldest friend, the guy who'd taught me to bait a hook when I was 10. The uncle figure who'd shown up at every birthday with a story and a six-pack. At 42, he looked every bit the Nebraska rancher, calloused hands, faded tattoo peeking from his sleeve, eyes like weathered denim that had seen too many sunsets. And me, Austin Hale, 19 and unraveling, fresh out of high school in Lincoln, chasing some vague dream of escape on this cross-country haul to deliver parts to a cousin in Seattle. Dad had trusted Mark to chaperone because he knew I needed a steady hand, not because he suspected the chaos brewing inside me. "Easy there, kid," Mark said, his voice a low rumble over the drumming rain. He didn't panic, didn't curse the gods, just reached for the glove box, pulling out a flashlight like it was the most natural thing in the world. "Happens to the best of us. We'll call for a tow once this lets up." His calm sliced through my rising panic, but it couldn't touch the deeper ache, the one that had me questioning every glance, every fleeting thought that didn't fit the script everyone expected. We'd been on the road for 3 days, trading small talk about football scores and the price of corn, skirting the edges of anything real. I'd always admired Mark, the way he laughed with his whole body, the stories of his wilder days before settling down on that spread outside town. But lately, those stories twisted in my gut. Whispers from high school lockers, the porn I'd delete in a frenzy, the way my best friend Jake's casual arm around my shoulder lingered too long in my mind. I was straight, wasn't I? Dad's son, all-American, future mechanic like him. Except the mirror lied every morning. And the dreams. God, the dreams. The storm raged on, trapping us in that metal cocoon. No signal on our phones, the radio spitting static like old bones. Mark rummaged in the back for the emergency kit, tossing me a blanket that smelled of hay and engine oil. "Might as well get comfortable. Looks like we're bunking here tonight." He flashed that grin, the one that crinkled his eyes. And for a heartbeat, my chest tightened, not with fear, but something warmer, forbidden. I buried it quick, mumbling thanks as I wrapped up. As the downpour eased to a drizzle, conversation trickled in like hesitant sunlight. Mark talked about his divorce 5 years back, how the silence of the empty house hit harder than any argument. Losing Sarah wasn't the end, he said, staring out at the slick blacktop. It was the beginning of figuring out who I really was. "You know, Austin, life's too short to haul around baggage that ain't yours." His words hung there, heavy with implication, but he didn't push. Instead, he cracked open a couple of sodas from the cooler, the fizz cutting the tension like a lifeline. I nodded, throat tight, pretending to study the map on my lap. But my mind raced back to last summer at a bonfire party where I'd frozen when Jake leaned in. The kiss that never happened but replayed in Technicolor nightmares. Dad's proud clap on my back. "You're a Hale. Son, keep your head down and your hands clean." Clean. That word clawed at me now, as the cab grew stuffy with unspoken truths. By midnight, exhaustion pulled us into fitful sleep, the truck's frame creaking like an old man's joints. I woke to Mark's soft snoring, his head lolled against the window, and in the dashboard glow, I traced the lines of his face. Not lust, curiosity, Maybe envy for the peace he seemed to carry. What would it feel like? I wondered. To own your shadows instead of letting them own you. Dawn broke gray and unforgiving. The highway a ribbon of mist-wrapped asphalt. Mark was already up, fiddling under the hood with a wrench. Raindrops beating on his jacket like unshed tears. Battery cables frayed. He called. Won't take long to patch. But as he worked, I sat on the tailgate, boots dangling, the chills seeping into my bones. The isolation amplified everything, the vast plains whispering doubts, the distant rumble of semis like judgments rolling by. When he climbed back in, hands black with grease, he noticed my silence. Penny for your thoughts. AUS. It was the nickname from childhood. Soft now. Probing. I shrugged. But he waited, patient as the prairie wind. Finally, it spilled out, not the whole flood, but a trickle. Ever feel like you're driving the wrong way? Like no matter how fast you go, you're still lost. Mark's eyes met mine. Steady. Seeing straight through. Every damn day. Kid. But here's the thing, roads fork. You don't have to follow the one everyone else paved. He paused, wiping his hands on his jeans. Your dad. He's a good man, but he built his world on straight lines. Doesn't mean yours has to match. The words landed like gravel under tires, skidding me toward a truth I'd dodged for years. We got the engine humming again, but the real journey had just stuttered to life. The next 100 miles blurred by in fits of radio country tunes and shared jerky. But Mark's offhand wisdom lingered, chipping at my walls. We detoured through a podunk town for gas, the kind with a single diner glowing like a beacon. Over greasy eggs and black coffee. He opened up more about the letters from his army days in Nam. Buddies who'd never come home. Loves left unspoken in foxholes. War strips you bare, he said, voice rough. Shows you what matters ain't the medals, but the man next to you. I poked at my hash browns, heart hammering. You ever regret not saying something? The question hung, bold and brittle. Mark's fork paused midair. Regret's a thief. Austin. Steals your tomorrows. I learned that late after Sarah. After realizing the parts of me I hid weren't flaws, just folds in the map. He looked at me then. Really looked. And I swear the diner faded, leaving just us in that vinyl booth. Two souls adrift. Back on the road. The Rockies loomed on the horizon, jagged teeth against a sky turning sapphire. My phone buzzed sporadically, now texts from Jake. Flirty emojis that twisted my gut. I deleted them, but not before Mark glanced over. That the boy from back home. Yeah, I muttered, cheeks burning. Just friends. He chuckled, low and knowing. Friends have a way of complicating the route. By evening, we pulled into a roadside motel outside Cheyenne. The neon sign flickering vacancy like a hesitant invitation. 1 room, 2 beds practical. Nothing more. But as we unpacked, the air thickened with the day's confessions. I showered first, steam clouding the mirror. My reflection a stranger with water-streaked doubts. Emerging in sweats, I found Mark on the edge of his bed. Photo album and lap-faded snapshots of younger him. Arm in arm with a soldier whose smile mirrored my own hidden one. Ever think about telling Dad? I asked, voice small. Mark closed the album gently. Your old man's heart is wide as these plains, Austin. But timing's everything. You gotta map your own path first. That night, sleep evaded me. The thin walls echoing Semi's whoosh. Mark's breathing steadied beside me. A rhythm I envied. Dawn would bring more miles. More unearthing. But for the first time, the road ahead felt less like escape and more like homecoming. We hit the Wyoming Badlands by noon. the landscape shifting to rust-red canyons that clawed at the sky, mirroring the raw edges I'd been ignoring. Mark cranked the radio. Waylon Jennings crooning about good old boys. But his glances my way carried weight now. Invitations to dive deeper. "Tell me about Jake," he said casually, as if discussing the weather. I hesitated, fingers drumming the dash. "Met him freshman year. Soccer team. He's easy to be around. Makes the noise in my head quiet." The admission tasted like dust. Dry and inevitable. Mark nodded. Eyes on the road. "Sounds like more than teammates. Ever let him know how he quiets you?" The question pierced. Sharp as a switchblade. "No. What if it ruins everything?" "Dad, the Geisties see me different. Like I'm broken." He pulled over at a scenic overlook. The truck idling amid sagebrush and silence. Killing the engine. He turned fully, his face etched with the canyon's severity. "Broken? Hell. Austin. That's the lie they sell to keep folks in line. I was your age once, hiding behind beers and bravado. Terrified of what my heart whispered at night. Joined the army thinking discipline would iron it out. But foxholes don't care about labels. They just amplify the truth." His voice cracked on truth. A fissure in his armor that made him human. Reachable. First time I kissed a man. It was under fire in the jungle. Rain like Judgment Day. And him Tommy pulling me close because tomorrow wasn't promised. Didn't make me less of a soldier. Less of a man. Just more alive. I swallowed hard. The vista blurring. "And after? When you came home?" Mark's laugh was bitter wind. "After? I buried it. Married Sarah because she was safe. Steady. Built a life on shoulds. But shoulds are shackles. Kid. They rust your soul." He reached into his pocket, pulling a crumpled letter. Yellowed edges like old wounds. "This is from Tommy. Last one before Key-san. Live honest. Mark. For both of us. Took me decades to heed it." The wind whipped through the open window, carrying his words into the void. I took the letter, fingers trembling. The ink faded but fierce, promises of postcards from stateside. Dreams of a cabin by a lake. "He's gone," I whispered. "Yeah." Took a bullet that should have been mine. Mark's eyes glistened. Not with tears, but resolve. But he gave me this permission to be. "You got that too, Austin. From every heartbeat that's ever raced for the wrong reasons." We drove on, the letter tucked in my pocket like a talisman. That afternoon, in a Casper truck stop, I texted Jake, "Missed the road without you. Talk soon." No emojis. Just raw. His reply buzzed quick, always. "AUS. What's up?" I didn't answer yet, timing. As Mark said, nights blurred into campfire tales under star-pricked skies. Our route veering north through Yellowstone's geothermal breath. Geysers erupted like pent-up sobs. Steam veiling our faces as we hiked boardwalks at dusk. Mark pointed out bison herds. Massive shadows in the mist. Like a stubborn, surviving on instinct. One evening, by a crackling fire in a national forest campground, the flames danced shadows across his features. I poked the embers. Embers of my own stirring. "What made you tell Sarah?" "About everything." He tossed a log on. Sparks flying like confessions. "Cancer scare. 2 years in. Doc said stage 3. And suddenly all the unsaid roared louder than the pain. Told her over hospital jello. She cried. Not for betrayal, but for the years we'd both lost pretending. We parted friends better that way." The fire popped, underscoring the quiet. "Your turn." He prodded gently. "What's the loudest unsaid in you?" I stared into the blaze, words forging like steel. "I think I'm gay. Mark. Or bi? Hell, I don't know the label, but it's there, clawing. And it scares Medad's world. The town's eyes. Jake's maybe reciprocal mess. Saying it aloud was thunderclap. The canyon walls echoing back acceptance. Mark didn't flinch, just nodded. Labels are maps, not cages. You're Austin Brave. Kind. The kid who fixed my carburetor at 14 without complaint. That's your truth. The rest. It'll unfold. We sat till the fire died to coals. His shoulder brushing mine in solidarity. Not spark. Sleep came easier that night. Tent zipper a soft barrier. Dreams less haunted. The Tetons rose like cathedrals the next day. Snow-capped spires challenging the heavens. We canoed Jackson Lake at sunrise. Paddles slicing mirror water. Loons calling like lost souls finding chorus. Midway across, Mark shipped his oar. Remember when your dad and I took you fishing here as a kid? You caught that trout bigger than your arm. I laughed. The memory's sweet sting. Yeah. And you let me claim the glory. Dad was so proud. Pride like that don't vanish. Austin. It evolves. His paddle dipped again. Rhythmic. When we get to Seattle, you tell him on your terms. Or don't live at first. A storm brewed over the peaks. Dark clouds herding us to shore. We made camp under pines that whispered secrets. Rain pattering tent roofs like Morse code. Inside, lantern light golden. Mark shared war photos him young. Grinning with Tommy. Arms slung easy. See that? Freedom in the frame. Wish I'd framed more of my life like it. I traced the photo. Envying their ease. How do I get there? Without losing. Me. You don't lose you. He said firmly. You find more. Start small, call Jake. On the quiet he brings. Let Dad see the son he raised. Whole. That night. Phone signal faint. I dialed Jake. Hey. Man. About the noise. It's you that quiets it. For real. His stunned paws stretched. Then warmth. Been waiting for that call. AUS. Me too. Hanging up. I met Mark's knowing smile across the lantern glow. The rain softened to hush. Washing clean the first layer of fear. Idaho's panhandle unfolded like a forgotten diary. Rolling hills of golden wheat bowing to our tires as we crossed into the Pacific Northwest's embrace. The air grew crisp with pine and promise. But inside me, the landscape shifted, two valleys deepening. Peaks sharpening resolve. Mark noticed. His silences companionable now, laced with the wisdom of miles shared. We stopped in Coeur d'Alene for supplies. The lake's turquoise gleam mocking my lingering murk. Over sandwiches on a pier. Gulls wheeling overhead. I broached the unbroached. What if Dad doesn't evolve? What if pride turns to disappointment? Mark chewed thoughtfully. Eyes on a sailboat tacking wind. Disappointment's his to carry. Not yours. Your old man loves fierce lost his own dad young. Built walls to keep hurt out. But I've seen him soften. Austin. At your graduation. Eyes misty. Whispering to me. Kid's got a fire I never did. That's not fragile. It's foundation. The words settled like ballast. Steadying my sway. We drove on. Windows down. Wind tousling hair. Bob Dylan warbling about answers blowing in. By Spokane. Twilight painted the skyline lavender. And we found a dive bar for wings and wings worth of talk. Mark nursed a beer. I a root beer. The jukebox crooning tales of ramblin' men. Ever think about settling with someone? Like, for real? I asked, emboldened by the dim lights. He swirled his bottle. Contemplative. Thought about it post Sarah. Dated a fella in Billings mechanic. Hands like mine. Laugh like thunder. Lasted a year. Life pulled us apart. But it taught me love ain't possession. It's witness seeing someone's dawn and dusk, cheering the middles. His vulnerability cracked me open further. Jake and we kissed once. Drunk at a game. Froze me solid after. What if that's all it is? A fluke. Mark leaned in. Voice low. Flukes don't haunt. Kid. They flicker and fade. If it's real, it'll root. Rain or shine. He clapped my shoulder. Grip firm. Text him a photo of this sunset. Let the light in. I did. Snapping the Columbia River's glow. Caption, chasing horizons. Join sometime. Jake's ping, named the road. Heart racing already. Night fell as we camped riverside. Fireflies sinking with stars. Tent talk turned to dreams mine of a Seattle garage. Tools in hand. Jake's hand in mine. Marks of a ranch expanded. Maybe a partner to share sunrises. Time bends us. Austin. But don't let it break. You're at the forge now, hammer what fits. Sleep wrapped gentle. River lullaby soothing scars. Washington's evergreens swallowed us next. A verdant tunnel to the coast. Rain slicked the windshield again. But this time, it felt like baptism. Not barrage. In an Olympia coffee shop. Steam rising from mugs like exhaled truths. Mark pulled out his phone first time for stories. Photos of post-army him. Mustached and motorcycle bound. Then softer ones. Him and a group at a pride march in Seattle. Rainbow flags waving like welcome banners. You went? I asked. Odd. Last year. Felt like coming home after exile. Tommy would have loved it. Danced till dawn. His smile was sunrise. Your turn soon. Seattle's got corners for every color. The image stirred something fierce belonging. Not burden. We hiked the Olympic rainforest that afternoon. Ferns brushing like encouragements. Moss-draped trees, ancient witnesses. At a waterfall's roar. I confessed the core fear. What if I'm not enough? For Jake. For me. Mark. Drenched mist. Gripped my arm. Enough's a myth. Spun by folks scared of their own shadows. You're plenty curious. Loyal. The boy who nursed a stray dog back to health at 12. Love mirrors that back. Amplifies. Echoes of the cascade drowned doubts. If only for the moment. By Tacoma. Dusk's ferry to Bainbridge waited. Puget Sound a silver vein pulsing west. On deck. Wind whipping. We leaned railings. City lights twinkling like distant hopes. Dad called yesterday. Mark said. Asked how you're holding. Told him your blooming roots deep. Branches bold. My throat tightened. Thanks. Means. Everything. He nodded. Sea spray beating his beard. Family's not blood alone. It's chosen roads. Shared breakdowns. That night. In a Kitsap inn. Waves crashing lullaby. I video called Jake. His face filled the screen. Grin wide. That photo. Killed me. When you back? Soon. I said. Voice steady. And Austin too. 0. Ready for the real deal. His eyes softened. Been ready. Love the upgrade. Hanging up. I found Mark in the lobby. Book in hand. Whitman's Leaves of Grass. Dog-eared. Read this. He said. Handing it over. Song of Myself. Reminds us we're all vast. Varied. Pages turn like phases. Moon over water. Seattle greeted us with drizzle-kissed streets and the Space Needle's needlepoint promise. But our delivery done. The real delivery loom mine. To Dad. Mark sensed it. Booking a waterfront Airbnb for a week. Breathing room before the call. The house overlooked Elliott Bay. Ferries cutting wakes like decisive strokes. First days blurred in exploration. Pike Place fish-tossing chaos. Market aromas weaving with sea salt. Mark introduced me to his friend Elena. A barista with tattooed arms and tales of queer youth groups. Over lattes. She shared, coming out's not a bomb, it's a bridge. Build stronger. Her words echoed as Jake flew in midweek. Surprise ticket burning a hole in his excitement. Airport reunion was electric hug fierce. His whisper, missed this. Mark hung back. Grinning paternal. Take the truck. Explore. I'll play tourist. They vanished into the city. Me and Jake reclaiming lost time. Capitol Hill's rainbow crosswalks felt like thresholds. Cafes buzzing with unapologetic lives. We hiked Discovery Park. Trails tangled as our talks high school crushes dodged. Futures sketched loose. Always knew you saw me. Jake said, hand brushing mine on a bluff overlooking the sound. Scared to push, but hoped. I squeezed back. Pushing now. Together. His kiss was answer. Soft as fog lifting affirmation. Not accident. Evenings. We'd regroup with Mark. Seafood boils, steaming stories. He'd rib us gently. Eyes twinkling. Young loves like this chowder spicy. Satisfying. Leaves you wanting seconds. One night. Post-dinner walk. Jake ahead scouting ice cream. Mark pulled me aside. Proud of you. AUS. That's the fire your dad glimpsed. Gratitude swelled. Couldn't without you. That first night. Stranded. You saw me. He shrugged modest. Just held the mirror. You did the looking. The week waned. Jake's flight looming. Airport goodbye was tear-streaked promise. Thanksgiving. My folks. Bring your heart. His cab tailed away, leaving me hollow but full. Back at the house. Mark and I brewed coffee strong as resolve. Time. He prompted. I nodded. Dialing Dad. Line crackled cross-country. Hey. Son. Mark says you're thriving. Throat dry. I dove. Dad. Need to tell you something. About me. I'm gay. Seeing someone, Jake. From school. It's real. Silence stretched eternal. My pulse thunder. Then. Soft, Austin. Knew you were wrestling something. Hills don't break. We bend. Proud always. Bring him home sometime. Relief crashed like waves. Tears hot. Love you. Dad. Love you more. Kid. Hanging up. I collapsed laughing, crying into Mark's hug. He bent. Mark chuckled. Back pat solid. Told you. Foundations hold. The call bridged miles. But deeper mending waited. Next day, we drove Olympic Peninsula. Rainforests yielding to rugged coast. At Ruby Beach. Sea stack sentinel. Driftwood sculptures of survival. Mark shared his own reckoning. Called my sister last month, full story. She said, about time. Big brother. Felt like shedding decades. Waves pounded. Eroding cliffs like old fears. Your turn with the world. He said. Small step, Stella friend. Join a group. Seattle's got plenty. I picked up a smooth stone. Pocketed it, talisman. Starting with you, thanks for the road. The words. Changed everything. His eyes misted. Mutual. AUS. You reminded this old fox there's joy in the chase still. Sun broke through. Gilding foam. Drive back was lighter. Playlist shuffling anthems of becoming Bowie's Heroes. K. D. Lang's Velvet Ache. Final nights. Porch swing vigils. Bay lights winking complicity. Mark read Whitman aloud. Verses on self vast as the view. This is us multitudes. I absorbed. Roots sinking deeper. Departure dawned crisp. Truck loaded for the haul home. Hug at the ferry dock, Elena. A new friend from the market. Pressed a pride pin into my palm. Wear it proud. Mark clasped my shoulder last. Roads circle back. Kid. Visit anytime ranch gates open. Ferry horn blared farewell. Sound parting like healed wounds. As Seattle shrank astern, I pinned the rainbow to my jacket. Small flag of forward. The drive east replayed in reverse. But I was remade planes no longer prison. But pallet. Texts pinged. Jake's can't wait. Dad's drive safe. Love. Mark's proud. Keep blooming. Interstate hummed harmony. Horizon calling not escape. But embrace. Months folded like accordion maps. Fall turning Nebraska gold. Winter blanketing secrets in snow. Back home. The ranch life resumed. Dad's garage grease under nails. Jake's visits weaving weekends into tapestries of tentative normal. First family dinner was fraught. Forks clinking nerves. But Dad's easy ribbing passed the rolls. Lovebirds eased knots. Jake's hand under table anchored me. His quiet strength a mirror to Mark's. Yet echoes lingered. Mark's letters arriving biweekly. Envelopes stamped with prairie postmarks. Saw a fox today reminded me of your sly grin. How's the city boy faring? I'd reply with Seattle snapshots. Jake's arm slung casual. Progress penned, told Mom. Hugs. Not horror. Spring thawed more than earth. I enrolled in community college. Auto tech program. Tools extensions of healing hands. Jake commuted from his campus hour east. Our rhythm syncing like well-oiled gears. Pride Month dawned. And we marched Lincoln streets. Rainbows riotous. Dad on the sidelines waving a homemade sign. Hail Hearts welcome all. Mark drove down for it. His truck rumbling into town like a prodigal. Reunion at the diner booth squeezed for us. Jake. Elena visiting from Seattle. Laughter flowed freer than coffee. Stories stacking like pancakes. Heard you fixed that '67 Mustang. Mark said. Eyes appraising. Talent like yours. World needs it. Post-March. Bonfire at Dad's back 40. Flames leaping as confessions once had. Tommy's letter made rounds. Its creases like lifelines. Jake read aloud. Voice steady, live honest. We toasted to that. Beers clinking vows. Summer scorched. And Jake and I road-tripped South Grand Canyon rims red as raw beginnings. There. Under Milky Way sprawl. He proposed not rings. But ringside, build this with me. AUS. Garages. Gardens. Whatever grows. Kneeling in starlight. I said. Tears stardust. News winged to Mark. He asked. Said yes. His call crackled joy. Knew it. Wedding. Ranch vows. Fall classes blurred. But a shadow crept Mark's voice thinner on lines. Coughs masking concern. Just a cold. He'd dismiss. But intuition gnawed. Fox sharp. Thanksgiving gathered us. Dad's table groaning turkey. Jake's folks thawing with tales. Mark arrived late. Gone under jacket. But grinned defiant. Post-feast walk. Leaves crunching confessions. I cornered him. Not a cold. Is it? He sighed. Breath fogging autumn air. Lung shadow. Doc's probing. Tommy's bullet missed me. Maybe this one's kinder. Gut punched. I gripped his arm. Fight it. We need you, mentor. Friend. The voice that started it all. Eyes twinkling defiant. Fighting's my default. Kid. But if not. Know you made this old road richer. Winter gripped. Chemo's gripped tighter. Visits piled snowdrifts. Jake and I hauling meals. Dad wrenching distractions in the garage. Mark's ranch became haven. Horses nickering encouragement. His stories fuel for frail days. One blizzard night. Snow sealing us in. He handed the album expanded now. My photos interspersed. March grins. Canyon kisses. Your chapter. Austin. Write bold. Tears froze cheeks. Ours. Co-written. Spring bloomed hesitant. Mark's remission whispered like mayflowers. Doctors cautious optimistic. But his laugh returned. Thunder rolling. Our engagement party barn dance under strung lights. Fiddles wailing joy. Mark two-stepped with Elena. Then pulled me aside. That letter from Tommy. Frame it. Beside your vows. I did. Glass catching candle flicker. Summer wedding dawned perfect prairie chapel. Wildflowers altars. Dad walked me aisle. Jake waiting radiant. Vows echoed honest. In foxholes and fairways. I choose you. Mark. Front row robust. Teared up. Reception toast. Austin. You stranded me once broke down my walls. Now. Watch you build empires. To love. Lived loud. Cheers rose. Hearts full. Years unspooled thread by thread. Garage co-owned with Jake. Kids' laughter echoing adopted twins. Boundless as plains. Mark's ranch neighbored ours. His partner arrived late bloomer, quiet vet with soldier eyes. Their cabin porch twin rockers. Dad aged graceful. Grandkids grandpa tales spinning Tommy legends sanitized sweet. Elena's visits bridged coasts. Pride pins collection on fridge. One anniversary. Road trip Reduxus 4. Twins buckled. Retracing Interstate 80. Breakdown. None. But stops for stories. Remember the rain. I'd say. Mark. Silvered now. Wink. Remember the rainbow after. Sunset over Wyoming. Truck idling. Family silhouetted. What he said. I murmured to Jake. Changed everything. He squeezed hand. And keeps changing. Horizon called eternal. Roads forever forked toward light. Decades danced like dust motes in sunbeams. Time's waltz both tender and inexorable. The twins. Riley and Jordan fierce spirits. One artist with Jake's curls. The other engineer echoing my grease-stained dreams grew into teens testing wings. Our garage expanded to 3 bays. Seattle summers drawing city apprentices. Lincoln winters forging family steel. Mark's health held patchwork. Checkups rituals of guarded hope. His and Eli's the vet. Steady as Sequoia-Sunyan's sanctified quiet. Their ranch a sanctuary for strays. Human and hound. Visits were sacraments, Sunday suppers. Eli's chilly simmering stories. Mark's tales now legend-laced. Dad passed gentle. 86. Heart giving way mid-lawnmower tune-up. Funeral packed the hall. Eulogies weaving his Ben's farmer. Father. Ally late, but true. I spoke last. He taught me engines. But you all showed the heart. Jake's hand in mine. Twins flanking. Mark's nod from pews. Anchor. Grief's tide ebbed. Revealing gratitude's shores. Jake and I parented through storms. Riley's coming out at 16. Echo of mine. Met with our arms open. Jordan's quieter wrestles with identity. Labels loose like his sketches. Your canvas. I'd say. Echoing Mark. Paint hole. Mark's shadow lengthened again. Cancer's whisper roar. This round fiercer. Treatment's a gauntlet. We rally caravans of care. Jake's soups. My bedside reeds of Whitman. Twins' drawings pinned walls. Eli aged visible. Hands trembling on Mark's. One harvest eve. Amberfield swaying. He called us over. Porch rockers creaked confessions. Time's thinning the herd. He said. Voice gravel soft. Want you here for the end. If it comes. And the letter's Tommy's. Mine to you. Archive 'em. For the kids. I nodded. Throat barbed. Not end. Encore. He chuckled faint. Ever the optimist. Blame your fire. Winter clamped. Holidays hushed. Christmas. Ranch aglow. We gathered extended kin. Fireside carols. Mark. Frail but fierce. Gifted each a journal. Write your unsaids. Free M. Riley scrawled first. Pages poetry. Jordan diagrams of dreams. Jake and I filled ours collaborative. Vows renewed ink. Spring faltered. Mark's breath shallowed. Hospices days. Eli vigilant. We rotating watches. Last lucid afternoon. Sun slanting golden. He gathered us bedside circle. Hands linked chain. Austin. He rasped. Eyes locking mine. That stranded night. Best breakdown ever. You gave this old fox purpose mirror back what I lost in jungles. To Jake, steady helm. Brother. Twins, be vast multitudes. Eli, love you. Horizon. Tears revered. But smiles held. What you said. I whispered. Changed eternities. He squeezed weak. Mutual road. Night fell velvet. Monitors beeping dirge. Dawn. He slipped quiet. Eli's head on chest. Our circle unbroken. Funeral was celebration prairie scatter. Ashes to wind over badlands. Toast to Tommy. To lives unlived loud. Ranch stayed haven. Eli welcoming. Journal's legacy. Years post. Twins launched. Riley to art school coasts. Jordan engineering heartlands. Jake and I grade graceful. Garage mentoring queers young. Safe space wrench turns. Anniversaries marked Molestona's 30th. Canyon Redux. Stars witnesses. 40th. Ranch renamed Foxfire. Plaque, live honest. Grandkids arrived. Riley's partner birthing via surrogate. Jordan adopting. Tiny hands and hours. We spun Mark tales. Uncle Fox taught Grandpa roads fork friendly. One twilight drive. Interstate familiar. Jake beside. I pondered aloud. Think Mark sees. Jake smiled. Hand over mine. All angles. Grinning. Horizon blushed. Life's loop luminous. Twilight years gilded ordinary miracles. Jake and I silver-threaded sentinels of seasons. Garage sold to apprentices queer collective. Pride flag fluttering base we retired to a lakeside cabin. Echoes of Mark's dreamed haven. Mornings. Coffee steam rising with loons calls. Weed journal still. Pages thick as shared decades. Twins thrived orbits. Riley's gallery shows. Canvases queered rainbows. Jordan's bridges spanning divides. Literal and lived. Grandkids for now. Wild as wheat summers crammed cabin chaos. Teaching them hooks. Hearts open. Eli faded gentle. 5 years Mark shadow. Joining Fox runs eternal. His service lakeside. Ashes mingling. We read his unsaid. Found home late. Loved full. Grief's familiar ache. Softened shores. Jake's health dipped heart murmur. Pacemaker pace setter bud his grin undimmed. Keeps me rhythmic for you. We traveled slow. Southwest sunsets. Painting with Riley. Midwest marches. Marching with Jordan. Pride 50th. Lincoln streets surged stories. Our float veteran vanguard. Grandkids waving wonder. One anniversary 50th. Canyon cradle we camped rims. Fire small, but stories vast. Jake unpacked the letter. Tommy's ink eternal, live honest. Our mantra, he said. I nodded. Ember's eyes. And Mark's gift. Stars wheeled witnesses. Twins video calling cheers. Grandkids giggles static. Winters warmed climate-wise. Heart-wise. Jake's murmur crescendoed. Hospital hymns familiar. Last vigil. Family haloed. He whispered, best road. AUS. You. Dawn claimed him. Hand in mind cooling. But warmth lingered soul deep. Funeral lakeside. Eulogies echoed, Riley's poem. Jordan's blueprint vows. Grandkids' drawings framed. I spoke last. He quieted my noise. Amplified joy. Drive his roads. Ashes to water. Ripples rings of forever. Alone. No legacy legion. Cabin filled kin. Journals past. Garage guild thriving. Years solo. I mentored solo youth groups. Stories stranded shared. Breakdowns birth bridges. I'd say. 80th birthday. Twins orchestrated surprise. Road trip caravan. Interstate 80 convoy. Grandkids buckled banter. Midway. Pullover picnic. I unfolded map original. Frayed. Here. Finger tracing. Stranded start. Riley grinned. And circle. We drove. Songs sung. Horizons homing. Life's odometer spun final miles. Cabin window vista vast. Journal last entry. Grateful gridlock. Changed everythingus. Breath eased. Eyes closing on lake light. Heart full fork. Legacy lingered. Roads rerouted right. Loves lived loud. Epilogue whispers in windswept prairies. Where echoes endure beyond flesh. The cabin stands sentinel. Lakeside legacy leads to a young queer couple mechanic and artist. Tools and brushes birthing anew. They find the journals and attic eaves. Dust-kissed diaries of dawns deserved. Riley curates, Foxfire exhibit, Mark's photos. Tommy's letter facsimile. Austin Jake portraits, wedding grins. Canyon kisses. Grandkid glee. Opening night. Lincoln Gallery glows. Jordan toasts. Bridges built on honest beams. Grandkids inherit. Eldest. Fox cunning teen. Road trip solo. Discovering self in stranded stars. Grandpa AUS said. They text Riley. Forks friendly. The garage collective expands. Bays beacons for broken down dreams youth wrenching wonders. Pride pins on pegboards. Eli's ranch. Deeded communal. Host retreats. Elders' tales. Young firesides. Mark's rocker restored. Creaking confidences. One solstice. Full moon over Badlands. Descendants gather picnic echoes that first feast. Stories spiral. Stranded with a stranger. Nossel sibling. Laughter lifts. Wind carrying to unseen ears. Mark's rumble. Jake's quiet. Austin's fire. Horizons hold. Roads revolve. Honest hearts homing eternal. What he said live honest triples rings. Changing everything. Always.